Welcome back to episode 3 of An Overthinker's Guide to Super Mario Bros. Philosophy Lessons. Today, we're turning our attention to those metrics at the top of the screen. Shiny, quantitative stuff that seems to matter but often distracts us from what really does. Let's talk coins, let's talk fireworks, and let's talk about chasing the sound of when we should be chasing meaning. Coins don't change much. Okay, they make a fun sound. And sure, in-game, if you collect 100, they get you an extra life. I guess that's also an analogy for real life where having some extra cash can help give you the freedom to take some added risk without worrying that one false step will end it all. But for the most part, coins don't change much. The pursuit of coins is like the pursuit of money for its own sake. They feel good to collect. Little dopamine hits. And I'm sure more than a few of you can relate to a metaphor of repeatedly slamming your head into a brick ceiling just to rack up a few extra bucks. But at a certain point, it rarely changes the experience of the game. And if you get too focused on coins, you'll miss what actually matters. In Buddhism, attachment to material gains is seen as one of the core sources of suffering. Reading the Dhammapada again, the craving of wealth and sensual pleasure is a net that entraps the foolish. So go ahead, grab the coins if they're on your path, but maybe skip trying to make a ridiculous jump over a lava pit to grab a couple more, especially if you forget why you're jumping in the first place. Buddha's second noble truth is clear. Suffering, or dukkha, is caused by craving, tanha. And money is one of the most insidious cravings because it disguises itself as security or freedom when often it just becomes another layer of fear. There is no fire like desire, no grip like hatred, no net like delusion, no river like craving. You can spend your whole game collecting coins and still feel empty at the castle. Freedom is less about having more and more about needing less. To tease another upcoming post on reggae rock stoicism, to quote the Maryland band Ballyhoo, "You can try to take my money, but I got what I need, and it seems it's not the same way for you. And it must be heavy to carry all that misery, try to go after another, and steal a piece of their dream." That's why Epicurus landed in similar territory to the Buddhist and apparently East Coast reggae bands. If you wish to be rich, do not add to your money, but subtract from your desires. Shifting back to the Stoics, wealth isn't something to be shunned or completely neglected, but allow it to be a tool to achieve your goals. Things like money, health, and fame are Stoic indifferents. These were factors that do not affect our moral character or virtue. However, some things, like coins in Super Mario, would be considered preferred indifference. As Epictetus taught, wealth may be a preferred indifferent. It's not good in itself, but it can be used virtuously. So you don't need to ignore coins entirely. Having a healthy stash isn't something to feel guilty about. Collect the easy ones. Be grateful for them. If using those coins and getting an extra life enables you to do something virtuous like saving the princess, great. Just don't let the sound of coins override the point of the game. Recognition is real, but doesn't matter much. Okay, we're about halfway through my ridiculous rant on Mario philosophy. Time to celebrate, right? It's like those little moments partway through the game when you hit the flagpole to mark the end of a level and you get the euphoric sense of satisfaction of the fireworks. That little touch of external validation, social media likes, glowing performance reviews, and applause after a speech. Cool, but does it actually change anything? Fireworks are fun, but they don't affect your next level. They don't offer a power-up or advantage for what comes next. While we just discussed the value of preferred indifference, these micro moments of sensory enjoyment fall into a more generic category of Stoic indifference. You don't need them. They don't change your virtue or quest. Quoting Marcus Aurelius, "Consider how quickly all things are forgotten, even the greatest of men." So if you were like me and waited those few extra seconds to get that little boost to hit the flagpole just right, just like self-promotion in real life, ask yourself, was it worth it? Sometimes there's nothing wrong with a bit of recognition to keep you motivated. A little celebration is fine. Motivation matters. Just don't confuse the recognition with the reason. Celebrate, then move on. Don't let the need for fireworks keep you from finishing the level. All right, so we've talked coins, we've discussed fireworks, we've even considered virtue. But what happens when you do everything right, grind through the lava, beat the level, hit the flagpole, and it still doesn't feel like enough? In episode 4, we'll talk about the arrival fallacy, existential disillusionment, and what it really means when you get to the final castle and Toad says the princess is somewhere else. Much like Bon Jovi, we're just over halfway there, with 2 episodes remaining of our overly elaborate evaluation of a fictional pixelated plumber's philosophy lessons. I'd love if you join me to overthink the rest of this topic or whatever else I have planned.